Hi, my name is Chris and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing CSS Battle, number 235 website from Battle 36. Okay, so if you've seen my videos in the past, one of the first things we always do is just try to get a general sense of how we're going to handle the layout of this target, right? The three big ways that we handle the layout, or that I handle layout with CSS Battle, and probably most people, is with display flex, display grid, or position properties, and then a combination of the two. Looking at this one, really I think you go either way with grid or flex as being your main tool for the layout. I've already solved it with grid, so for this video I think I'm going to solve it both ways. I haven't solved it with flex yet, so there may be a couple bumps while we do that, but that's okay. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to basically set the body to grid, and then set up our grid template columns, grid template rows, and then we should be good to go. Now these two elements here, this top rectangle and bottom rectangle, have these little boxes in here. So what we're going to do for these two elements is we're going to make this a flex, display flex, and both of them display flex to justify content center, line item center, and then we can give this one a gap and this one a different gap, right? So let's start with our divs. So we've got, we use letters of the alphabet to cut down on my character count. And no, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to go ahead and just get, oops, I forgot to copy it. Mistake number 1. Alright, so we need 6 of these. Oops, sorry about that. Using letters of the alphabet. Not a good practice in real life, but works great in CSS Battle to cut down on your characters, because your score goes up based on your accuracy and amount of characters. So then I'm going to add 2 more divs in A. We're going to call both of them G because they're identical. Then we're going to do the exact same thing, but with 3 divs in F, all G, because they are the same. Good. Okay, one thing I'm going to do is all of the elements that are being displayed with grid, I'm going to comment them out, with the exception of the first, because some of the default values that are given to these elements kind of make it really confusing to style if they're all there, right? Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give a background color to all our grid elements. Just get that out of the way. Give it backgrounds of this light green. And then, well, we don't need to do that for G because we're going to put that all inside G. And you know what? I'll just go ahead and take care of G right now. To think I remember his dimensions. So width 20, height 20. These are pixels. You don't need to specify that in CSS Battle. Those are default values, and these are going to be a background of this dark green. Okay, cool. Yeah, it looks kind of messed up right now. That's why I usually comment these out, but whatever. Only one isn't that bad. So we got body, Whoops, what am I doing? The body does not need the straight brackets. Okay. Then background of this creamish color, reddish color, whatever. We're going to give it a margin of 0 because there is a default margin in there that's going to mess with us if we don't reset it. Sometimes you don't need to do that. In this case, we do. Alright, so then we have display grid. And set up our grid template. Let's start with the rows. Okay, so first one is this one up here. It looks like about 30 pixels. We can test all this as we go. It's not, it's 20 pixels. There we go. And so while we're doing this, what we'll do is we're gonna take A and we're gonna use it as a test for our template. Word row. So now we're going to switch to 2. We haven't defined it yet, so it looks huge. And then I believe this is 30 pixels. Yep. And then the next one I believe is 10 pixels. And the next one I'm going to say is 40 pixels. So let's stop there and test that real quick. So that's correct. Is that correct? That is correct. Forward, this is the same. I'm gonna guess the next one is 60 pixels. And of course, we got 10 pixels again. Let's make sure that 60 is right before forward though. 5, 6. Yeah, that's correct. And then 60 again. 10 pixels again. And then that is the same as the second. Whoops. What happened there? Cursor went crazy. It tends to happen when I'm making videos. My laptop slows down. Things start jumping all over the place. Alright. Cool. Just double checking. Alright, so all the rows look to be correct. Now we need to do our template for our columns. Oof. It's really locked up right now. I'm going to have to slow down a little bit. Columns. Okay. So our first column is going to be the same as our first row. 20 pixels. Then our next column would be this, which looks to be 80, I'm going to say. Once we get this, I think we'll be home free. Grade column. Yeah, that's right. And then we already know it's 10. And then, okay, so this one we could just use math and figure this next section out. So if we have, this is 20, this is 80, this is 10, and then we know this is 20. It's the same as that. So 20 plus 80 is 1. So let me make sure that is right. Wait a minute. No, I trust in my eyes. Yeah, okay, cool. And there, we're good. Okay. So once again, this is 20, 80, 10, 20. So 20 plus 80 is 100, plus 10 is 110, plus 20 is 130. Our total width is 400, so this is going to be 400 minus 130, 270. And then that would be the fourth column. Perfect. Okay, good. We're in great shape. Now let's just go through and get everything in the right spot. So this is going to be grid row 2, not 1. And then we're going to do right off the bat is we're going to take A and F. We're going to get rid of this. Put it here. And we're going to say grid column 2 through 5. There you go. We're also going to stay here for a second, and we're going to say display. Sorry about that. That's my cursor jumping around on me. Display flex. Justify content. Center. Sorry if I'm typing slow, but my laptop's really slow. If I type too fast, that's gonna happen. Alright. Align items. Center. Here we go. So now we can just for this, I'll show you what we're gonna do. I think I remember what the gap is. We're gonna give this a gap. I believe it was 310 pixels. So gap 310 pixels. Sorry, I know this is a little annoying. And there you go, perfect. And we might as well, while we're at it, go ahead and comment out F. Kind of moving out of order here, but that's okay. Just because this is going to be very similar. So F, all we need to do is set the grid row to 10, I believe. And then give this one a gap of 10 pixels. Great. Cool. Alright, so we just got to get everything in the middle here, and this should take no time at all. Just comment on B. Now B grid row 1, 2, 3, 4 through 9, I believe. That's correct. And then we just need to say grid column 2. Great. Then for these next 3, they're all going to have the same grid column, so we're going to put them all together. So C, D, and E. Column is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Kind of put these out all at once because we might get. Oops, that's not what you want to do. I was hoping we could get some. No, what I was thinking would happen was kind of a stupid thought. I thought we were going to get some help from the default values to cut down our characters, but that's not the case at all. So C is grid row. 1, 2, 3, 4. D is grid row 6. Finally, E is grid row 8. Great. And that looks pretty perfect. And it is. Great. All right, so as always, let's get rid of our comments. So we can do a higher score. And then let's put everything on one line. So I'm just going to get the divs first. My computer is slowing down, and I don't want to mess this up. Gotta be really careful while you do this. I'm just hitting Command D on a Mac. Be careful that you don't actually delete something that you don't want deleted. So we're getting rid of all the white space, getting everything on one line. It's gonna look terrible, but that will give you a higher score. So Command D to hit all this white space, highlight all this white space, I should say. Delete one more time. Let's delete the style tag and then hit submit. Good to go. All right. So my points didn't go up by much by getting rid of all of those. I solved this before. I didn't get rid of all that stuff. Right, cut down by characters by half. Sometimes it'll make your score jump up by like 10 or 15. If you see my videos, you've probably seen that happen a couple times. All right, so let's go ahead and do this one more time, but let's do it with flex. Then we can kind of decide, which approach we like better. So it's got a character count of 633. Let's see if that beats that. Get rid of everything. So what we need to do is give the body display flex, align items, center, justify item center, give it a flex direction of column, right? And then we're going to have one element up here that's also going to be a flex container for these two boxes. I'm going to do this over here. And then we need an element here. Then we need a container. Actually, no, we need a container for all the middle elements. We'll set that to display flex. Leave it at flex row, its default setting. And then create a container for these, and then we have an element here. So then we have this element and then this container. This container will be flex column, and have 3 elements inside of it. And then finally we have this element down here, which again is going to be a flex container. Line items justify content with these 3 items in it using gap. These spaces in between here, we're going to use gap. And they're all going to be a gap of 10 pixels, which is, we already know because we already dealt with that in our grid example. Okay, so let's see how many divs we need. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 divs. And I'm going to deal with these later. So let's just set up these 8 divs. So there's 1, 2, and then this needs to go inside of there. 3, one more inside of there, and then we've got 3 inside of here. And finally, you've got one more down here. Okay. So, let's see if we can reuse it. I don't think we're going to be able to reuse anything, any of these labels, because everything has something about it that's going to be slightly different than... Oh, no, I do see one. Okay, and then this will be E, and then we can have F and F. These will be the same. G. So this is top rectangle, bottom rectangle. This is all, B is all the middle stuff. C is this first rectangle. D is the container for these three. E, F, F. Okay? So now we're going to create one more, well, technically 5 more. I'm going to call this H. And these are all, can all be the same. These can all be H. Again, because they're identical. Just like we were in the grid example. Okay, there's all our elements. I can already tell that Flex is probably going to have more characters than Grid. That's the way it's looking. Okay, so what do we want to do first? Let's go ahead and take care of all the colors. I think that makes the most sense. So A, C, E, F, and G all have this light green background. And actually, we're going to hold off on the other elements' backgrounds, except for we'll jump do the body. Cool. Okay, now we have one, two, 3, 4 elements that all are display flex. So we're going to put that all together. So we've got body. Oops. Sorry, I did that wrong. Body A. B. D. And G are all display flex. Now, these two are flex row, so I'm sorry, the body and B are flex column. Let's take care of that. So body and B are going to be flex direction column. Cool. And so, of course, display flex by default is row, so we don't need to specify row for this container, this container, and this container. Did I do the wrong one? I think I just did. I did. This shouldn't be B. This should be D. Yep. Glad I got that. Cool. Okay. So, here's something interesting. Let's talk about these gaps. So, body has 3 elements in it, right? It has 3 child elements. This one, this container, and this container. They're all going to have this gap. Right now, this gap between this. Then these 2 are going to have this gap between it. And these 3 will have this gap between these 3. So, basically, we got 3 elements that all have the same gap. Body, B and D. B and D, and now that I'm thinking about it, F as well, because these are all 10 pixels, and so is that. So we can get away with putting all the gaps right there. Sorry about that. I was behaving for a while. Alright, cool. So now doing it this way can also, it's really easy to get lost like this as opposed to just doing element by element, but at the end of the day, this will cut down on your characters and give you a higher score. So it's worth trying. Okay, I'm trying to think. Oh, and then we need align items and justify content properties set. And I believe, so this is going to be align item center, justify content center. The body is going to be the same. This isn't going to need that. And this isn't going to need that. So why don't we just do it on body A and G? Body A and G. Okay. So body. Body. I want that space. A. G. We're going to have justify items, center, align items, center. Cool. All right. So finally, we need to give all these elements some width and height. So let's start with A and G, because they're going to be identical. So A and G, I believe we said the height was 30, if I remember correctly, and width. Oof. Oh, I know how to figure this out. We got a width of 400. I remember these are 20. So 400 minus 40 is 360. So it should be 360. There we go. Now I know what we need to do. So this is another funny little thing. Okay. Whenever body is flex direction column, you need to specify the height. Otherwise, things are going to be really hard to put into place. But that didn't help. And why is that? We got body display flex direction column, justify item center, align item center. Huh. We just gave it a height. I'm just going to go through all of our code real quickly, because sometimes you can leave out the smallest thing. It won't break the whole thing. It'll just break like something very little. So I just want to make sure I didn't do that before we move forward, because I did not expect that to behave that way. Let's Make sure you didn't miss a comma, didn't miss any curly brackets, didn't spell anything wrong. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. That's all right. Let's just plow forward. Hopefully this will kind of all come together. Display flex. Body B, flex direction column. That's so weird. Okay. And then let's go to element B. Yes, we got that display flex. B. So now we're looking at C. Let's give that a width and a height. I'm going to say it has a width of sorry about that. Width of 80. That's about right. And a height of, oh, I don't know, 200? I think that's all we had to do. That's why it was looking weird. Obviously that's too much. Was it 180? I totally forget. I guess we didn't really specify that when we were doing a grid example. What I'm confused about is why this isn't all being centered. We got body, justify item center, align item center. Body display flex, body flex direction column. Give it a height. Do we ever reset the margin? I don't think we did. Maybe that's causing it. I don't think it would, but okay, that's interesting. So that was the margin, and it's definitely not putting everything in the center. Okay, I'm going to delete this for now. Interesting. And let's just go here. So it was working for justified content, but it wasn't working for aligned items. Did I spell it wrong? Oh, no, I'm opposite. Excuse me. What am I saying? This was off. Okay, now it's working. But we want that. We want that for B, A, and G. Or I'm sorry, for body A and G. Okay, I don't know what I did, but whatever. Body. It might have been something that I accidentally deleted when my laptop was going crazy. A and G. And that's all correct. And then we just need to grab this. Now we should be good to go. We are. Cool. Still no idea what was missing there, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. We got it fixed. All right. So next thing we need to do is look at E, F, and F. So they all have the same width. So we're going to do that all at the same time. So E and F. Now I think we can use math again to figure this out. Oh, we did that with grid as well. And I just remember what it is. I believe it's 270. So we're just going to try that. You might want to specify width there. There we go. It's perfect. Then E is gonna be, shoot, I don't remember, 40 pixels. Wait, 40. Yep. Finally, F. Height. 100? Definitely not. Wait, what are you doing? 100? 60. Alright, perfect. Good. Good shape. And then we just need to look at H, and all we need to do is set width and height, give that background color. And I think we already defined the gap for F. We need to do it for A too. That's right. Width 40, height 40, background, and just a little reminder, background, not background color, just to cut down on characters. I wouldn't do that in real life, but nice. It's not 40. What are you thinking? It's 20. I'm getting tired. Here we go. So what happened to our gap at the bottom? H. Because it's not F. I think it's the gap. It's H. There it is. And why am I not seeing that? Where's your flex? Okay. It's not H either. It's G. Oh boy. What just happened there? There we go. Okay, and then if we remember up here, A's got a gap of 310. And then we are done with the flex example. A. Oh my gosh. It's good things. My laptop's about to blow up. A. Gap. Oh my gosh. Stop. Gap. 310 pixels. Hooray. Perfect. Alright, let's get rid of all our white space, get everything in one line. Let's see if we get less than 6. How many? 633? I don't think we are. I think it's going to be close. So again, Command D on a Mac. Make sure you do this very carefully, especially the first couple times you do it. It's really easy to accidentally highlight the wrong thing or press delete too many times. Delete once, delete twice, and then we should clean this up a bit and get everything on one line. Oh, we actually are knocking it out of the park. We're down to 570 some characters here. Okay. 570 to be exact. Alright, let's see if our score improves. Obviously, it's still 100% match. You know, there's not... That's, you know, always my final test is using the diff there. If it's completely black, it's going to be 100% match. Let's go ahead and submit. Alright, we went up 1 point. Okay, so yeah, there's examples for both grid and flex. I'm going to have to say that after doing both, that I find, for this example, grid to be a lot easier. It just was smoother, you know, getting everything laid out with those grid template rows and columns. And once you get that together, it's just a piece of cake. So my vote is for grid for this one. All right, hopefully this video was helpful to you. If you want to see more like it, please like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy your day.